Alright, hello, what's good? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, what I want to do is review a game on Steam called Hell Let Loose. This game is like a hardcore first-person World War II multiplayer shooter. It's really fucking good. It's really grabbed me by the balls and it has very much seduced me. So today I want to talk about some things which I like about it, some things which can be improved, and just kind of give my 2 cents on it. So yeah, this game is in early access on Steam. You can buy it for I think about 20-ish pound. It's really not that expensive considering the amount of content in it, but we'll obviously get onto that soon. But the game is not your typical kind of unfinished, half-assed Steam early access kind of thing. So yeah, I suppose I want to talk about the gameplay first of all, and specifically how Hell Let Loose kind of captures this really nice feeling between realism but also fun. I'm not a guy that sweats out millisims. I don't devote my life to role playing in the army when I could just join the army. So for me to ramble and like this game that much is actually kind of rare. Sort of why I'm making this video in the first place, really. But as I said, it is quite often compared to Postscriptum. Postscriptum kind of seems to be like the alcoholic, slightly abusive, drunk uncle of Hell Let Loose. That's kind of like an asshole and really difficult to like, but still kind of a good person deep down. I don't know. Does that make any sense? Fuck, man. I'm just chatting pure shit. The game is obviously very, very dependent on teamwork. It's dependent on communication, and for that reason I would highly recommend using a microphone, or at the very least typing in your team chat. And also, if you are a Chinese player, please stop joining English servers and going as squad lead, because it is just fucking, it's so annoying, man. Oh my god, they need a region lock, I swear. There's a large map with multiple objectives, but you have a front line and then you have like a defensive line. So you're not always going to be balls deep in action. You're not always going to be stimulated with constant shit blowing up in your face and like all of that action-packed first-person shooter stuff. There is a lot of kind of walking. There's a little bit of, I suppose you could call, boring gameplay, a bit of planning, a bit of walking from point A to point B. But for me, this is a real part of Hell Let Loose's gameplay, which I actually enjoy. And like, to be honest, I wouldn't really have it any other way. I'm a person that is a big fan of, smoking a bit of weed, playing games and getting absorbed in the atmosphere, and like, not to sound like a nitbag, but weed is like the best thing for that. So like, I'm a big fan of games which have atmosphere, because atmosphere is sometimes more important than just what you're doing. And Hell Let Loose has like a dummy thick atmosphere. It's so goddamn scrumptious. I really couldn't pinpoint why it is. More often than not, you'll be walking in a seemingly empty part of the map, and then all of a sudden explosions are going off. There's Dutch guys screaming at each other. There's bodies everywhere. There's so much stuff happening, and it goes from nothing to something so quickly. But even in those points where nothing really is happening, as I say, it's still thick with atmosphere. You can still hear gunfire in the distance. You still feel like a soldier is going to jump out and destroy you. So there's always kind of like a baseline level of tension. So yeah, for some people, this kind of slower style of gameplay might be a little bit boring. Some people don't like just walking around and planning and actually kind of putting a bit of thought into gameplay. And like, I'm not having a dig at those people, because sometimes I do feel like that as well. But like, that is a part of Hell Let Loose. And if you're buying this game just for mindless action, which is fairly easy and quite rewarding, you're probably not going to get it, because let's be honest, you get killed a lot from places where fuck knows how it happened, fuck knows who did it, what did it. And also, you're going to pick up maybe only a couple kills a game when you're starting out. So the game is difficult to get into. This leads me on to my next point, is that the game is extensive. There's a lot to this game. It is obviously a first-person shooter, so you do have the kind of gun-to-gun combat, but you also have artillery, you have tanks, you have recon squads, you have a commander, and you even have a meta which is basically real-time strategy strategy, building resources to maintain a consistent level of essentially power to aid your team in, you know, calling in bombing runs or strafing runs or supplies. Like, there's a lot to this game and there's a lot to learn. So initially, one of the criticisms I would make about Hell Let Loose is the fact that there is a lot to learn and the game doesn't exactly tell you what to do. Now, this isn't an awful thing thanks to the joys of the internet. There are millions, okay, maybe not millions, fucking hell. There's definitely thousands, maybe not even thousands. There's a lot, alright? There's a lot of YouTube videos breaking stuff down, and also Steam guides, you know, like there's a lot to learn in this game, and quite often if you don't search for it elsewhere, you'll only really pick it up after putting hours into, say, a certain class or a certain you know, artillery squad or what have you. So maybe some kind of tutorial, or at the very least like a training kind of mode, like a firing range. That would be the best thing, you know, to test weapons, to test bullet drop, especially with things like missiles, which are really fucking difficult to aim properly if you're playing anti-tank. But as I say, most of this just comes with experience, and it feels like authentic progression. You're not being artificially inflated with XP telling you that you're getting better. Like, you actually feel like you're getting better, and you kind of learn the intricacies in a natural way, which doesn't feel like you're being kind of like, what's the word, like patronized, you know, like, oh, well done, oh, you've learnt this. Like, no, you feel like you've actually accomplished something in your really sad fucking life. But yeah, the gameplay is absolutely solid. Can be a little bit janky in some points because of, you know, the early access kind of feel to it. I often have issues with the bipods on machine guns not mounting on surfaces which are clearly mountable, also getting stuck in the ground after being revived, not being able to drive through certain bushes in a tank. The game desperately needs a team scrambler. It needs some kind of system which reworks teams, because when you're in a game which is a load of veteran players just circle jerking each other, just pounding you in the arse, it's not that enjoyable. You know, the game is at its best when it's perfectly balanced. People are talking to each other, and, you know, some kind of team scrambler or what have you would be very welcome. So if the developers are somehow watching this, then please do consider that, because yeah, it would be really useful, like really useful. But one thing I will give massive props to the game for is the community, and not just the community but the developers as well. The developers are updating this game all the fucking time. Update 9 is a big update. It's coming out in, I think, the next month, which adds the Soviet Union. It adds rebalances to the entire meta of the game, new maps, a new weapon, barbed wire functionality, a spectator cam, admin tools. Like, the developers update this game really fucking often, and they always post little developer blogs, like showing their behind the scenes testing and outlining exactly how things are going to be and what to expect. You know, consistent communication, which is fucking refreshing. It's not like just being succumb to radio silence and you're just kind of guessing what's happening. Like, the developers are on it and they're really good at communication. So if you're worried about an early access game under delivering, you're most definitely not gonna have that. But yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about, to be honest. The game is just good. It's really good. Like, so goddamn good. I have not been invested in an online first-person shooter for so many years until I played Hell Let Loose. This game has really grabbed me by the balls, you know, to the point that it's kind of cutting off blood circulation, but it's not really like a fetish thing, so it's just kind of like, should I be enjoying this? But like, at the end of the day, you just kind of, you know, admit that you have a weird kink and you kind of move on, you know, you learn to love it, and that's the best way I can kind of describe Hell Let Loose. The game, as I say, is not for everyone. For that reason, you know, you have to give it the time of day, you have to be patient with it, and you have to be willing to kind of look things up and understand things a little bit better. But for me, that isn't a chore, because I want to be good at this game. I want to feel like the crazy seasoned veterans that know the maps inside out and whatnot. Hell Let Loose is just fit. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's a damn good game. It's a game which I'm gonna sink a lot of hours into, and it's a game which I would recommend to everyone, even if you don't immediately like it. Leave it to marinate for a bit, come back to it, and you might enjoy it again. I think you just have to be aware that the game is a little bit of a steep learning curve, but you just have to be willing to, you know, kind of put up with this bullshit for a bit. In the process, it's not AIDS, it's really fun, especially with friends. But as I say, if you're looking for constant stimulation, this game might not be for you, but it's nowhere near as fucking hardcore as Postscriptum, so don't worry about that. Anyways, guys, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Appreciate that you spent the time watching this video or something. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that yeah, alright, cheers for watching, guys. Catch you in a bit. Take care.